with me, which will happen every day. That is where persons will have the campus will separate into different groups and have either music, sign language, dance, art, or cooking. These will take place on every day. What will happen is we'll ask the campus when we get the information from the office for the information which they submitted, and we'll get the emails from that information, and we will send them to choose 3 of those items. They will rotate daily, so we want them to choose 3 so that they can. We will just place them in different groups daily to see how they will get through that program. And then we'll have varied items. So you'll see praising versus, we'll have a Jesus party, and what a pray. We'll also have sports. So you see that we have a lively camp planned for them. How we're going to do it? We have varied ideas. We have also our camp rules and guidelines. And as I said, we will email these to the varied persons who are affected by intermediate camp. Our camps will have 4 houses, and as has been the norm by intermediate camp, we try to take what our theme is and choose a language, and we use the idea that we get, and we find a meaning, a word that has that meaning in varied languages, preferably African languages. So what we are looking on this year is the question, who are you? All those words there for the different houses, it simply translates to who are you? And as you can see, the varied parts of Africa, which these languages are from. So I'll skip. So all the counselors who are in the room currently would have up image. This is what we will allow the campus to use to get their, and that is mine, to get used to their counselors. The counselors do not use their real names at intermediate camps. We use aliases. So my alias is Jelly. And if you look in the room, you will see various persons having those images up. So we have all of those things ready for the campus this week, Wednesday, coming up. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Co-host.
So junior camp, please top that.
This is not a competition. Ladies and gentlemen, I see persons are excited in terms of getting some answers to questions that they have. I'm going to ask us to just hold on to those questions. You can type them in the messaging section of the app, of the platform, and we will get to them as soon as the question and answer time comes around. Now, after the presentations from the camps, we are going to move into the question and answer, and then we will try to cover as many questions as is possible with the time frame that we're working with, right? So we are going to move on now to youth camp.
You can.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those who are joining us for the first time, this is the brief presentation of what our plans are. My name is Oral Campbell. I'm the chief for the youth camp. The chaplain is the Reverend Dane Grant, and the secretary is Colleen Green. What you are seeing on the screen is a skeleton of what the program will be for the week. You would have known by now that what the theme is, and that for each day we have some sub-themes. As you would have heard, for our Wednesday, we begin at 1 o'clock with our orientation. So we're asking persons to sign in at 1 o'clock when we will have our orientation. At that time, we will be getting to know campus, doing our icebreakers, sharing with you what are some of the expectations and the rules that will be governed during our camp experience. For example, some of the guidelines that we'll be looking at are there on your screen, but these will be shared later on with the campers as soon as they sign up. So the orientation will take that format, getting to know you, we look at what are the expectations and so on. At 2 o'clock, we are hoping to kick off with the involvement of our young people with a panel discussion in the form similar to the town hall meetings. We discover from discussion with young people and what is happening currently in our country and worldwide that the issue of racism and classism seem to be upmost in the minds of many people. And if you look at what is happening even on our social media platforms, many of our young people are asking questions, are discussing some of the things that are taking place. So racism, classism, and youth, that's not the topic, but those are the areas that we are going to be looking at. We are hoping to have at least 2 persons as our guest panelists, and then we will involve the young people themselves to share their views and to ask their questions. At 7 o'clock, we get back online for our opening celebration. Our opening celebration is where we have more of the involvement of the young people sharing some of their talents. And we have a word of charge to them. And this session will be led by our chaplain. So on Wednesday, as you can see, we look at the sub-theme in Christ. On Thursday, we are hoping to have everyone up by 9 o'clock for our Keep Fit. Our campers are accustomed to have these Keep Fit in Duncan's, and we don't see why it should be any different. The only difference is that normally at Duncan's, we may be up at 5 or 6. We are giving them some more time in their bed. But at 9 o'clock, there should be no excuse. And our sport coordinator, which is Mr. Stephen Scott, will lead us in the Keep Fit. At 11 o'clock, we have our Bible study. And then at 2 o'clock, our creative concept. Creative concept, we look at the area of music, art and craft, and we want to look at monetizing social media. We believe that a number of the young people are on social media, and we thought that maybe one way they can utilize it usefully is to see how they can use social media maybe to make some money. And then at 7 o'clock in the evening, we have our evangelistic service. On Friday, Through Christ, again at 9 o'clock, Keep Fit, Bible study at 11. And at 2 o'clock, one of the features of camp is our games and sports. And yes, we are going to be having sports, as you would have heard was said by our commission chair. I know you may have some questions about that, so let me see if I can answer some of those. We are going to be having teams, of course, houses rather, and persons will be giving some simple exercises that they will do virtually that they can participate in, whether it be push-up, squatting, bun eating contests, and soda drinking contests. We will inform the campers before who are going to participate which bun they should get the same size and the type of soda so that there is no one is at a disadvantage. But those are some of the events that normally take place at camp, and we will still have those. at 7 o'clock, we'll have a concert and entertainment. Already we have a Renee, Renis, we have a guest artist all the way from Japan, and that will be one of the person who will be with us on Wednesday night.
Sir.
Eh?
You can't sway me.
So on Friday night, we have someone all the way from Japan. But I think most of you probably would have known the name Dave Collymore. He's one of our dub poets, a very active Baptist who has been living in Japan for maybe the past 12 years. And this is one of the good things with the virtual camp. Normally, we would have to consider getting those persons pay their ticket, put them up at a hotel, but here we are now. We can get them to come and share with us virtually, and other persons will be coming in. And then on Saturday, for Christ, our closing exercise service will take place at 11 o'clock. The idea is that all of our events should not go beyond 1 hour, and so you'll notice that there are breaks in between so that our campers can have some time for themselves at home to get their refreshment and so on. We are aware that the week for our camp is the same week when the CXC exams will be in session or would have started. So we are hoping that some of our campers who might be involved in exam will at least fit in one of two of the sessions, at least the last ones for the evening. That's basically it, sir.
Thank you so much, Reverend Oral White from Youth. We appreciate your response, and I see an attempt to challenge the reigning camp to a duel. And I am just hearing timidity in the voice of the champions, suggesting that
no such thing, sir. No such thing. It was
Our,
the internet stability.
No such thing.
No such thing.
I do think thou dost protest too much. We are having fun here. I want to give God thanks for that. For the junior camp, I just want to share a bit about our activities. It is in no way or shape or form an attempt to challenge the intermediate camp. So I am presenting a disclaimer
capacity
from day one. And I want to just start with just highlighting some of the things that we are hoping to accomplish with junior camp. Now, junior camp will cater to the ages 9 through 12. And because of that, we have to bear in mind the time frame that our juniors can stay online, viewing a screen in a stationary position for any one time. So we have factored all of that. Now, my name is O'Neill Brown. I'm a minister of the Jamaica Baptist Union, and I will be the chaplain for the camp, leading in the Bible study and the devotional exercises. The chief is the Reverend Angela Morgan Allen, who will also be joining us in terms of the online camp experience. Now, what we try to do in terms of the program, I will lay it out for us, not in the same fashion as some camps before, but we will begin with the registration on the Wednesday. Now, we are starting junior camp at 1 p.m. for the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We will not do morning sessions. We will do afternoon sessions only, because we are looking at a time frame between 1 and 6 p.m. the latest, or 6:30, I think we will go to for any days. So 1 to 6:30 p.m. is the time frame, and it will be broken up in a pretty much half-hour slots. Registration 1 to 1:30, orientation 1:30 to 3 p.m. And orientation will take in about 4 items: devotion, icebreaker, getting to know you, and introduction of the CAM staff. So the half an hour slots will be broken down into devotion, icebreaker, getting to know you or getting to know me, a break, and an introductory session. Now, the activity for the afternoon, 4 to 5, is an online game. So we are going to be engaging in games for the start of the junior camp. Then we are going to move into the Thursday with registration again. Now, why are we doing registration every day? The registration daily is to facilitate any persons joining us at a later date, later period than when we would have started camp. So we want to make sure we are familiar with all the youngsters who are online and recognize any new persons that would have joined the junior camp online program for the week. We're going to exercise, aerobics, and yoga, 1:30 to 2 p.m. Now, we have slotted in breaks throughout the session so it's not monotonous. We have a water break for 5 minutes after the aerobics. Then we have Bible study. Now, the Bible study will be broken into 3 sections. We have a 20 minutes presentation on a Bible-focused topic. We will have a breakout sessions. So the students will be put into breakout rooms with our counselors to further discuss and interact with the presented material. And then they will come back in the general platform to report each group on the discussions they have had within their breakout groups. So you will have the presentation, breakout groups, and then presentation of what the breakout groups would have discussed. Then we will have a break for about 30 minutes, at which time they will get something to eat and refresh themselves. And then it's explore time with various clubs, art and craft, dance, sign language. And persons will identify which area they would want to be in, and they will be divided again into breakout groups, and counselors will take them through various clubs and club activities for that period. On the Friday, as was said, registration again, we'll have the Bible study, we have the 3 sessions again, the presentation, the breakout session, and the reporting. We'll have a 15 minutes break, and then we go to explore clubs again from 2:45 to 3:45, and then another 15 minutes break, and then we will have sports. Yes, sports. We are going to engage the children in moving away from their screen to activities, and we're going to ask for assistance in this area because we are going to have children doing a varying number of activities, after which we have a short break, and then we will have a movie. Now, the movie that we are hoping to show will not exceed 45 minutes. We will not be showing a long movie because we know how weary some campers will get, but we'll have movie evening. Now, the Saturday, it is our commitment service, and the commitment services which we give the youngsters a charge from scripture, and then we will give them an opportunity to respond to that charge, either making decision for Christ or recommitting themselves if they are already Christian. Then we'll have a uniform party, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Now we're asking children to get their uniforms ready for that session. Then we have a break, and we are going to have bonfire. And no, we're not going to be lighting anything on fire at the parents' home. We are going to use a screen and share a virtual fire screen. And it will be the central focus where we'll gather around that fire screen where persons are, and we will share camp experience, camp stories, and then we will close off the session on that Saturday evening. Now, every session will be guided by 2 counselors so that one will be able to monitor the children online while the other will share in the activity with the children. Now, all sessions will be broken down into smaller groups, not just the breakout session and other breakout session, but all the sessions will be broken down into smaller groups so that counselors can monitor and be aware of all those who are online so that proper monitoring and management is done to the children online. This is a layout of the Junior Camp Program 2020 Virtual Camp Encounter. Thank you so much. Back to my co-host.
Okay, so yes, sir. We are now at the question and answer session. I know that persons have been asking questions in the chat. I'm going to ask us to follow some instructions. However, I will ask the questions that are in the chat right now. I'm going to ask you to use the raised hands feature if you have a question, especially the parents. Counselors, please hold off on questions, and we will try to get those questions answered. The first one that was in the chat was, my children will be 1 week shy of being at the age of junior camp. On the week of junior camp will be held. Can I still register them? Also, I'm making a suggestion that since many of the churches may not have VBS, if junior camp age limit can be relaxed to include maybe from age 7 to 12.
Thank you, Renice, for that question. It is a question that has to be discussed at the camps level. But from the junior camp perspective, it is something that we are considering, but we need to bear in mind certain limitations. We need to make sure that the children are able to keep up with the programs and not be a distraction to the rest of the camp encounter. So it will be taken into consideration and the discussion will be had, and we will send out notification afterwards. I think the chair would want to weigh in on this, Gary. All right. So we will take that question and concern into consideration, and we will discuss it, and we will send out the messages to report at a later time.
Reverend Brown?
Yes.
There were 2 parts. I think one part was that there are 2 children that's just a few months shy. I think usually when the first few weeks, right? Usually when persons are so close to the age, like for those we would usually accommodate.
Okay. Thank you, Reverend Hyde Riley. So we will, but some persons I know are asking for younger persons, 6 or 7, 6 years old, to be a part of it. We will have to discuss that and review that. But for those who are just like a couple months shy, as we say, we will consider having those persons within junior camp, so they can go ahead and register. Robert Knowles, you have an input here?
I didn't hear that, Reverend Bro.
Persons were asking if their junior campers are younger than 9, say 7 or 8, a few months shy of the age, if we can accommodate them still, relaxing the protocol somewhat.
Well, I think if the child is able to manage at 7, then I don't see it as an issue. Because remember, you're not going to be in the physical space with others. Right. So if they're able to be monitored by their parent or guardian or someone older, and they're able to manage the gadget and go through what is happening at 7, I don't see a problem with it. Because you also have to remember, too, that with VBS out for this year, I mean, a lot of parents will be trying to at least find something for their children to be a part of. I know that camps start at 9, but as much as we can facilitate, I think that we should do so. We just ask that parents, especially those who are so small at 7, that I go, 7-year-old, handle laptops and phones better than I do. And I'm able to maneuver and do some things that I can't do. So I think, and I don't think the material will be too much over their heads for them to understand. No, I think for junior camp, the material is just right, that even a 5-year-old can understand what is being done.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Next question.
The next question is from Greenwood Baptist Church. I see the hand that is raised. Unmute your mic.
Greenwood.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir. What is your question? Okay. I think he wanted to say good afternoon. So I'll move on to Marjorie.
Marjorie.
That's Bolero Horton. Hi, good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon.
I am from Mona Baptist. I just really want to say I'm excited about this. When I saw it, I said, good for JBU. I'm really proud of you taking that opportunity to see how we could still reach our children. I'm just thinking though, for the extended time I know you said it's going to be an hour slot, but you're taking it from 9 to 7 or beyond 7 because something begins at 7. Isn't that too extended a time, even though you're having break? I just thought that it would have been better if you say, okay, we're going to have it over a 3-hour period or a 4-hour period, rather than take it from 9 right to maybe 8 o'clock. That's just what I'm thinking. Everybody's kind of zoomed out, and I see the activities. They sound exciting, but I'm just thinking you might lose. Well, you won't know how many. Yes, you can know how many of them are there, but you might lose some of them when they go out. I don't know. I think much thought has been given to it, but I just still thought about it being such an extended time. So I don't know. I don't know if you can do anything about it now, but the hours seem really long. No, they get very bored easily sometimes. Another thing, I noticed that are you going to block all of those children when they're coming in and put all your rules and regulations in before they come in so that you can monitor them? Because I really had a set of students, like 300 or something of them on one, and it was just an hour thing, and we had different persons. They got quite restless. They start writing on the screen, and even when some people are very engaged. So you have to have somebody monitoring that aspect of that.
Okay, so I'll take 3 questions at a time. So I note that one. In the chat, there are several questions about yoga. And then Diane, you can unmute your mic and ask the questions.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
You're hearing me?
Good afternoon.
Yes, we are.
Okay. Yes. From Sturgeon Baptist, I have seen the outline of all the camps activity, but when we mentioned it to our young people, they were a little bit, standing off because they weren't aware. They didn't know what to expect. So they did not register because they thought it was a hooping thing and all of that. So are you saying that if possible, they can register now for the different activity?
Okay.
Cam, sorry.
Let me direct that one to Miss Redwood.
Hello?
Yes,
yes, hold on. We're directing a question to Miss Redwood from JBU.
Miss Redwood? Danielle?
I'm not seeing her here, sir.
Danielle, but registration is still open. I
yes,
think
I was
it
about to
closes on
say.
the 6th.
It closes tomorrow.
So they can go ahead and register now.
Yes.
Okay. And the other question, during the activities, they will be asked to open their, what that section, or is a video section? It has to be open?
One of the requirements is that we are able to see the campus so that if anything, we can monitor if anything is amiss. And take the appropriate action. Because they're going to be online with us, we want to make sure that we are able to, in case of, God forbid, an emergency, we are able to see, recognize, and we can reach an adult in time.
Okay, because I was talking to one of the youth and she was complaining that her device, that session is not working. Okay, thank you very much.
So the questions from earlier out had to do with the timing of some of the sessions.
Right.
I think each camp presented a variety of programs. I know if you look on some of the programs, there are scheduled breaks. So it's not, say, from straight 9 up to closing time. If you look on, for Intercamp, I know we will send out the program to the parents. And if you pay close attention to what is going on with the timing, there are breaks noted there. So one session may end at, say, 12, and the next one starts at 2. So they wouldn't be going straight.
If I may add to that, it's a similar thing with youth. We know that we couldn't have the children sitting at the computer from 9 until 7. So for example, a 2 o'clock session, and we said no session lasts more than an hour. And after 3 o'clock, they can go sleep, rest, play, and then they come back at 7 o'clock. So the idea is that we would not have these persons in front of the screen for the entire time from 9. There are breaks in between, breaks which allow them to rest, because normally when they're at camp, they would have their rest time, their chill out time, and so on. So it's the same kind of thing that we have in mind. So it may look like it's from 9 until 7 or 8, but it's not it's not straight throughout the day. There are breaks.
And the next question had several persons in the chat had concerns about the use of yoga in the junior camp program.
Yoga is a loose word. It's more stretching.
Okay, so I think the parents would prefer to say stretching than yoga.
It's more stretching before the aerobics.
Okay. So questions from Novlin, Abigail, and Natasha. So in that order, Novlin, Leslie Little. Unmute your mic and speak.
Good afternoon to everyone. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share. The question that I have is pertaining to material, especially I'm a parent of a junior camper, and I do know that we have art and craft. I am wondering if we will require additional material, not just for art and craft, but for anything else as it relates to the activities during the camp. And when would we be notified of this so that we can get this?
I know that for intermediate camp, we're hoping to get the relevant information from the office by tomorrow and send out emails by tomorrow as to what materials parents may need to garner. Junior camp has a little bit more time in that they are 2 weeks away, right, Reverend Brown?
Yes, we are.
Yes,
and
so
the
I think
will go out with sufficient time.
So I gather that is okay. So next question, I forgot who, Abigail. And sorry, I said I was taking 3 questions at a time before we responded. So Abigail, Natasha, and Sashana, and then we respond.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Hello.
My name is Rain. Hello. My name is Rain.
All right, Rain. Thank you very much.
We'd like to be a part of the camp, but he's 6 years old.
No, my name is Rain. I am 6 years old and I like to be a part of the camp.
Okay, we will answer that later. Natasha.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. I love that excitement of that child. Okay, so yes, I am on the other side of the fence in this capacity. I must say I love the initiative taken for us to move full speed ahead with engaging the youth of our tomorrow in this fashion. I must say I love the initiative. When I saw it, of course, I know camp and I'm no stranger to camp, but I was in the capacity of a counselor. But now that my daughter is of the age, and of course, I was looking forward to her attending physically, being involved and engaged. Sadly, there's a thing called COVID-19 that kind of changed that around. So when I saw the link coming out in relation to registering and virtual, I'm like, Naraya, look at this. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So yes, there are kids out there ready, waiting to be engaged in this capacity. And yes, kudos to the team. To my question. Right, so I noticed some of the activities listed, activities like bun eating, arts and craft. And in my mind, I'm saying it is assumed that the students would have bun and soda in their household ready. But I heard Renice made mention to the fact that an outline or a guideline would be given as to tools that they would need to have. Because if you're going to do arts and craft, then the kids would need to get whether a paintbrush, painting, paper, markers, crayons. So in this fashion, because they go into camp, they would have these tools with them at the camp. But the fact that it's going to be virtual, then the parents and the household, the children will have to get that from the home, correct?
Yes.
Right. Yes, the point about yoga was also addressed, the fact that it was used loosely, because we don't want to give the kids the wrong impression that, well, this is my opinion. Yoga is not for Christians because of what it stands for. worshiping the sun. We worship God, we don't worship the sun. I don't know if yoga in its sense has been changed, but that being a part of the program would need another naming for the program. That's my 2 cents.
Okay, noted. Thank you, Natasha. What was your campaign again? Okay, go ahead, Chief.
I just want to add to that in terms of junior camp and art and craft. We will not be so much engaging with water paint or any liquid, because we do not want the junior to damage the device that they're using. So we will stick to like crayons and so forth, and also use online doodling in terms of art and craft, because the platform lends itself to just drawing on the whiteboard that is on Zoom itself.
Okay, noted. One more point though, the bonfire, I think you had also outlined that there's going to be a fire on the screen, because in my mind I was like, how would that work? So in my daughter was like, Mommy, they're going to teach us how to make the fire outside and I'm going to have my marshmallow. And I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. But I realized at the bottom, you did say you're just going to depict the light on the screen and the shared. So the same format as if you were there at the location will be implemented. It's just in a different way for them to share. And okay, noted.
Okay, Sashana, and then we move on. Sashana?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I have a 9-year-old. This would be his first junior camp. However, he has the mind of a 15-year-old. I don't know if he's cognitively overdeveloped. However, he has some challenges in terms of his assessment behavioral, and he suffers from oppositional defect disorder and adjustment disorder. I don't know how that will fit into the junior camp guidelines and keeping him in line virtually, because he will not be in a space that I will be able to supervise him, because I'll be at work and he will be with his grandmother, who is also taking care of my 9-month-old. So I don't know.
All right. There are some measures that we are going to put in place. First of all, we have spoken about breakout rooms that we can send children and counselors to help them work through some issues. That's 1. 2, we are going to be allowing the campers, the junior campers, to come up with rules and regulations to govern themselves, rather than impose rules and regulations on them. So it is more of the campers agreeing to some protocols and guidelines for how they want to operate online. And those guidelines will be guided by us as chief chaplain and counselors, so that the campers feel as if these are their rules, their principles, their guidelines, and it will create a better atmosphere for them to adhere to them. And thirdly, we will be asking, and we have gotten emails for parents, so we will be touching base with parents throughout the camp to get input and give them feedback in terms of the activities for the day and some of the things that we have discovered. And between the campus chiefs and chaplains and counselors, we will be getting feedback from parents. Hopefully, parents will respond in a timely manner so we can know how to proceed for the next day. So we will take it on a day-by-day basis in terms of how we proceed. So we won't be biting off more than we can chew. We just do it a day by day and give feedback and be guided by parents as well.
And duly noted. Thank you.
Okay, I see that the question about rain was answered in the chat by Reverend Hyde Riley. So I will move on to, it's at Ava or Ava, and then Lucy Circuit of Baptist Churches, then Norcoil.
Good evening. I'm Eva. My camper is quite excited. This is going to be his third camp and his first. Oh, he has changed his mind. He's not excited. He said, please allow.
Which camp is this?
This is junior camp.
Oh, no.
In terms of
continue, sorry.
No, I think he has been with junior camp for 2 years, so this is his last year in junior camp. In terms of communication, you communicate with us via email. No, I will be at work and he will be at home. Is it that you're going to have WhatsApp group for them? Or how will you choose to communicate? Since some parents might not be in the same space as the children at the same time. And the advertised date for the junior camp was 22nd.
25th.
Starting 22nd, I know it has gone to the 21st, which means he might miss the 21st because he has an appointment. And on that time of day, in the afternoon,
I think that was a mistake. Let me cut you. I think that was a mistake because all camps are starting on the Wednesday. So it would be the 22nd.
Okay, good. But in terms of the communication, how are you going to communicate with the children? Is it that you're going to have WhatsApp group for them since 11-year-olds don't have email address?
Okay.
Mine doesn't have one at this time.
All right. So we note your question. Lucy, you're next. Lucy, Circuit of Baptist Churches.
Hello, good evening. My name is Nisha. Just a quick question. All right. So for our church, we do have a few juniors that are definitely interested to be at camp. However, some of them don't have the facility at home to accommodate being in the camp. So what the church was thinking is to actually have the juniors, those that don't have the access to devices at home, come to the church. We would project for them so they can definitely be involved while maintaining social distancing and sanitation and so forth. However, in terms of breakout session, what I want to know is, would they be in different groups for the breakout sessions?
Okay, let me take the next question before you respond, Rev.
Okay.
Norcoil?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm Norcoil Barnett. My son is his first time being a part of a camp, at least a camp with the Baptist Church, because he attends Emmanuel Apostolic Church. It's the first time we'll be a part of this movement or this initiative, but he's excited. But he will be a part of the intermediate camp. But my question, 2 questions I have. One, read the email. I came in a bit late, so I'm not sure if that was said. But I just wanted to know, my understanding when I came in is that the camp would have started from 9 till 8 p.m. Can you verify that? So that's my understanding. So I need that to be verified. And 2, I'm yet to receive a breakdown as to the timing. I know I got 9 a.m. up to 11. I'm not sure if I saw the correct information in the email, but that is one information I would like to get. What time do we start the different programs throughout the day? Given that when I came in, I heard the breakdown for the junior club, I'd like to hear the same for the intermediate so that I'm aware, because I'll be home with him, so I'll be able to guide him accordingly. So those are the 2 questions. I'm already aware that the list of materials will be sent. So the first question would be, can you explain what time do we actually start and end, and the breakdown of the program for each day? All right, so those are my 2 questions.
All right, thank you very much. So we will go with,
you're welcome.
Will there be a WhatsApp group to communicate with the children? Because some parents may not be there, and how will you communicate with the campers, I nearly said students, with the campers who you may need to have communication with during the day?
Just wanted to know that the platform has a messaging section that we can communicate back and forth with each camper individually and the group together. So there is a messaging section to the platform that we can communicate with the camper, or they can send us messages. But the idea of creating a WhatsApp group is also one that will be explored as well, both for the parents and the campers, so that we can keep in touch with the parents during the period that we are having camps.
Okay, so the question from Lucy, where it concerns the breakout rooms, will the children be required to go to separate breakout rooms?
Oh, for that, if they are using one device, they cannot go to separate breakout rooms. They will have to stay together in a breakout room because of the single device being used. We can only put devices in the breakout room. So if a group is using one device, all the members of that group will be in the same breakout room.
Okay, and the last question was for intermediate camp, where it concerns the timetable. No, we do not go from 9 to 8 p.m. And we had said earlier, you said you came in after we had presented. The information will be emailed to the parents. So you will see a full breakdown of the day, all the rules, all the materials that are needed. So you'll get all of that in one package. The next set of questions. A.A. Henry, I'll pretend I don't know who that is. Alicia Sterling, and back to Greenwood Baptist.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Just noted that one of the persons I registered, there is a WhatsApp group that is started for the junior campers. Is that legit? That's one question. And then just one other concern I had with the timing that I saw for youth, long break between the sessions until 7 p.m. Just wondering about the setting in a home when family gets home from work at 7 p.m. and a youth is trying to get on. I know they can find ways, but I'm just wondering about the long break in between and losing momentum. I think it might have been raised in terms of the time period. I know we're giving people a break, but just wondered about that. And then this commitment service, closing service. Can we find some more creative names for them so they don't sound so boring? That's it.
Alicia?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Well, all right, my daughter would be a part of the junior camp. My concern is with the timing because I do have classes starting at 5 most afternoon. Also for the breakout group, how does that work? I remember I was a part of a digital town hall where a host would normally manipulate that. Is it that the children will be taught how to do that, or it is something that is done automatically?
Okay.
The next question, or we?
No, that's it. I think unless Greenwood had a question, he lowered his hand.
And okay. Sorry, I have one more question. What if a child should miss a session?
All right, let me answer the first one. The breakout rooms will be controlled by the host of the platform. That is from the management side of the camp, the chief chaplain, and the counselors. So we will be controlling, putting the children into breakout rooms. So the children would not be the ones managing that aspect of it. Secondly, what was the second question again?
The time.
The timing, because she says
the timing.
That, yeah.
Okay. If they miss a session, it will not be detrimental to the whole program itself. So that's okay. So if you are unable to continue beyond that time, we will understand and we can facilitate that. All right.
The question from Arlene, was there a legitimate WhatsApp group for junior campers at this point in time?
There is a WhatsApp junior camp group, but mostly counselors are a part of that. I'll have to double check to see if a group has been created for campers. I do not know of one at this time because we do not have the full listing of the name of the campus as yet for junior camps. So that may not be 100% legit.
Okay. There is a question in the chat. Does the platform accommodate more than 100 participants?
The platform that we are going to be using will accommodate 500 participants. It is not this platform that we are using now. It is a different platform. So the platform on which we will be hosting the camp can accommodate 500 persons.
Okay. Are there any more questions? I'm not seeing any more hands. Are there any more questions? So just to reiterate, oh, there is a question, Lucy. And Ava. Lucy, you can unmute your mic. Lucy Baptist Churches. Sorry, Circuit of Baptist Churches. You may go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't have a question. Trying to get the raise hand actually done.
Oh, I lower it. It's okay. Ava, you can go ahead.
Just a comment. I know children have their friends and sometimes they will share. I'll ask parents to children not to share the Zoom information with their friends who are not registered in the camp, and so as not to have spamming, as I have experienced in another Zoom.
I think that's why we will have, as part of our registration, we have to check to see the person. So that's part of it. They'll have to use their names. I know I have my camp alias up, but that is the name I will be using for camp. So if the name that is on the registration is not the one that is highlighted here, we cannot admit that person. So if Renice McFarlane is the person who has registered, Jelly cannot sign in. Because that's the only way we're going to be sure that that is the person. And if two persons use the same name, I don't know, unless even if they are twins, they don't have the same name.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if Renice are. We probably need to say something about the registration, because based on the question, persons probably might think that they can just log on. So we probably need to say something at this stage about the registration process that needs to be done.
Beautiful. The registration process is unique to each camper. Once they register with an email address, only that email address can log into the platform. You cannot log in from another email address. If you try, the platform won't accept you. Once you log in with an email address, then a particular code will be sent to that email address, and the platform will only recognize that specific email address. So if they try to share their login information with somebody else, once they log in with a different address, it will be automatically blocked by the online platform based on how we have set it up.
I think we overlooked a question. It was brought up back in the chat where the children will need to join the breakout rooms. But didn't we say we'll automatically send them off?
Yes.
I think that was said.
We will send them off from the host, which is the camp counselor and chief. All they will need to do is click yes on their device. They won't move themselves. Only the chief, the chaplain, and the counselors can move the children between rooms.
And they will get directions from the counselors. So it wouldn't be that we just automatically assume that, all right, every child is going to do this automatically. We will try and guide them through as best as possible.
Can I respond to a concern that Miss A.A. Henry raised? Thank you very much, Arlene. the names that you see, they're closing, opening, are not the names. We were just identifying what the different sessions will be, but I'm glad you raised the point. They will be renamed for camp purposes. We were just identifying we are going to have an opening service, evangelistic service, but those are not the names that will be used, closing service or commitment service. So just to alleviate your fear, those will be renamed and make it more camp friendly for our young people.
Okay. If you need some help, Serena, intermediate is here. So what will happen if a parent logs in 2 children with the same email address? Will 2 separate codes be sent? Will the children be using the same device? That's my question to you. As Andrea Jarrett. No, they won't be using the same email. They won't be using the same device, but the parent had logged in from the same email address, I think. They had registered the 2 children from the same email address.
Oh, well, the platform will recognize the email address.
And it's 2 separate persons, so.
Once the persons come online, we can rename the persons online to distinguish between the 2. So if the 2 log in from the same email address and use a particular name, we may be able to change the name online. Well, the platform gives us the opportunity to change somebody's name once they're on the platform so we can recognize who they are. Any other questions?
Someone was asking if we could give the time and end for each camp, but I'm saying that emails will be sent out. So don't be too overly anxious, parents. The information will come. The information will come. Don't be anxious.
Well, be anxious, but also be patient.
Be patient.
I want to suggest, though, that I am excited about the kind of interest and the kind of passion that I'm hearing, that I am encountering on this platform in relation to virtual camp. The excitement is there, and we are praying that this excitement will spill over into the camp experience itself, and that the takeaway from virtual camp this year will generate so much interest that there will be a call for ongoing virtual experiences, not just camp, but otherwise.
There's a next question, sir. How will the children from junior camp select whatever session they wish to be in? I don't remember that if that was on the registration form. And I'll take Pauline Anderson Johnson question right now.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Pauline here. My question is, okay, sorry about that. It's a suggestion. My question is, if you will provide some kind of guidance to our users during each camp regarding their not just behavior, but in terms of lighting and everything, where they're for the video, since they will be online, ensure that you give them instructions in terms of the lights should be in front of them and those kinds of things, so that you can see them properly and they can see each other properly. Some kind of guidelines like those. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Other question before we answer?
That's it, Rev. That's it. I don't see any more.
All right. Just let me say that guidelines will be provided, and there's an orientation session at the start of the camp. At that time, campers will choose which group they would want to go in, which club they would want to go in, and they will sign up for that. 2, instructions and guidelines will be given in terms of how to position the cameras and lighting to get the most out of the visual aid that is available. And well, clear guidelines and clear instructions will be given, not just verbally, but in writing. It will be sent out to parents as well.
For intermediate camp, it's slightly different. With the emails we will be sending out as of tomorrow, we will ask for them to indicate the sessions which they would like to be a part of in terms of the creative groups. So we can start shifting out the children as soon as we get the list. So we don't come on the first day and we have that as backlog to be done. So we want to get it done before they even come to us.
We know that you don't deal with the same numbers that we deal with.
Yeah, yes. Okay, I think that's it, sir. I don't see any
numbers bigger than Inter this year.
Yes, this camp is bigger than us. I don't know. He's underestimating himself.
Rivalry. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to have brought you thus far into the session. Now, we are going to be closing in a bit, but I want...
sorry, Rev. There was a request. I forgot. It came in via WhatsApp. The churches that are having the lump sum of campers together, if you could advise the office as to those set of children, it would be nice. So we know to look out for that set of campers.
So the churches that are hosting a number of campers, please submit the information to the office so that we will be prepared and organized to deal with it. At this point, before we close, I'm going to ask.
Oh, that's where
Reverend Brown.
Okay.
Yes, that's where I am. Concerning the churches with a number of campers,
right,
that they should also indicate whether or not the campers will be using one device or several devices. And in the event they're using one device, then arrangement should be made by the church to have persons there to assist with the breakout session. That's my suggestion. For we won't be able to put them into small groups. So if you have a number of persons in one space, then it would be good to have several persons there to help them. Even, well, in intercam's situation, there'll be videos, so you'll be able to, you could follow the video and do what we're saying. But I'm just saying to have persons there to assist them if it is only one device you have.
Yes, guidelines will be sent to the churches in terms of how to proceed with that.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was the voice of the one chief, Milton Bailey, Reverend.
You see what we're
doing? I see your hand.
She is forgiven. She's forgiven.
I'm going to invite.
John Neal had her hand up, sir, so I'm giving her the opportunity to speak before we close off. Last question or comment.
All right, thank you, Renee. So it's just a comment. I just wanted to remind everyone here on this platform to make sure that you follow the social media pages for the youth department. So on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you look for at JBU Youth, that's our handle, and you'll be updated with things that you need to know for camp. So even if you don't get to check your emails, then once the information is within our space, we will share it on our social media platforms.
Thank you. Reverend Merlin Hyde Riley. I'm going to be calling on you suddenly to officially declare virtual camp the Jamaica Baptist Union 2020 officially launched.
Okay, here goes. I now declare Virtual Summer Camp 2020 officially launched in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Ghost.
Yes, we are ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your experience. I'm going to invite our chair, the Reverend Gary Knowles, to just close us off in prayer as we get ready to exit. And I just want to take this time on behalf of my co-host to say thank you for taking the time to be a part of this introductory session and launch of virtual camp of the Jamaica Baptist Union 2020. Thank you. God bless you. See you all at camp in the various camp experience, and hoping to keep in touch with the parents as we continue to serve. Robert Knowles.
Pray. We thank you, oh God, that you're not a God inside a box, but a God who is outside. That you are creative, always redefining and reshaping your will for human existence. That, Lord, you have gifted us as your people with what is necessary for us to be the people who we can in all kinds of situations. And so, Father God, we thank you for inspiration, for ingenuity, for technology, and for how, Lord, it may be used for the building up of your kingdom. And so, Father, we thank you for your hand that has been with us, even for the inception, the thought of the JBU virtual summer camp, and for how far you have led us thus far with all that we have been doing. Lord, we just ask your continued presence to be with us, each camper, each parent, each counselor, each camp personnel, that as we go through the next 3 weeks of virtual camps, that it will be meaningful, impacting the lives of all those who participate, and that those who join in, they will never be the same from the experience that they're going to be a part of. And so, Father, we just commit ourselves afresh to you, to your will and to your way. And we ask, Lord, for your journeying mercies with us. Through Christ we pray. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
My co-host.
Yes, sir.
Any last words?
I am just excited to see our campers, especially the ones coming in this week to the one camp. And we look forward to you having a wonderful time.
And bear in mind, you can only go to one camp at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless you. Have a lovely evening.
Before you go, Reverend Bailey, do you still need to see the parents of
the junior camp?
Reverend Bailey?
No, it can stay.
It can stay. I think. Okay, go on.
Blessings all. Thanks for having.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.